Tom flips through a script, nodding as he visualizes the action scenes. His stunt coordinator, Jason, leans in. This helicopter jump is going to be insane. The cockpit door is slightly ajar, revealing the pilots monitoring the instruments. The flight attendant pours coffee, the calm hum of the engines filling the cabin. Outside, thick clouds begin forming, signaling worsening weather ahead. The intercom crackles. "Mr. Cruz, we may hit turbulence. Nothing major." Tom grins, unbothered. "I live for turbulence." Jason chuckles, but a sudden jolt shakes the entire aircraft. The crew exchanges uneasy glances. Something feels off. The captain grips the controls. "We've lost power in engine 1. The co-pilot frantically flips switches, trying to regain stability. The plane tilts slightly, causing unsecured items in the cabin to slide. Tom steadies himself against a seat. "Okay, this is new." Jason's face drains of color. "What's going on?" The pilot's voice comes over the intercom. "Urgent now. Brace for emergency descent." The jet shakes violently as it drops through the clouds, the force pressing them into their seats. Tom tightens his seatbelt, his mind racing with survival scenarios. Outside, jagged mountain peaks loom closer. Time is running out. The impact is deafening, metal screeching as it scrapes against the ground. Tom's head snaps forward, his vision blurring from the sudden jolt. Jason groans, gripping his arm where it slammed into the bulkhead. Smoke seeps into the cabin, setting off a new wave of panic. The exit door is jammed. Tom kicks it with force, finally breaking it open. He stumbles onto the rocky terrain, coughing as he surveys the wreckage. A wing is completely torn off, debris scattered in every direction. Jason follows, limping slightly. "What now, boss?" Tom wipes blood from his brow. "No, we survive." Jason shivers, rubbing his arms. "It's going to be freezing out here." Tom gathers scattered seat cushions, using them to create insulation. A crew member, Mia, finds a first aid kit and starts tending to injuries. The wreckage groans as cooling metal contracts, making eerie sounds. Smoke still rises from the broken fuselage, visible for miles. Tom checks a cracked survival kit, some water bottles, flares, and a knife. "No radio signal. We're on our own for now," Jason mutters. Tom nods, unshaken. "We make a fire, we set up shelter, and we wait." Above them, the stars begin to appear, illuminating their isolation. Tom stands near the fire, eyes locked on his team. First priority, staying warm. Second, finding a way down this mountain. Jason nods, taking mental notes. And third, Tom looks toward the wreckage, signaling for rescue. "We need to make ourselves seen." Mia wraps a blanket around her shoulders. "What if no one comes?" Tom clenches his jaw. "Then, we make sure we find our own way out." The wind howls, sending chills through the group. Jason tosses more wood onto the fire. "Guess this is the most realistic stunt you've ever done." Tom chuckles, but deep down he knows. This is no movie. This is real. Tom steps over twisted metal, scanning for anything salvageable. Jason lifts a bent panel, revealing a half-buried survival kit. Mia sorts through the scattered luggage, looking for food and blankets. The wind picks up, sending a shiver through the group. Tom unzips a duffel bag and pulls out a flashlight, still working. "We need to ration what we have," he says, checking the supplies. Jason finds a shattered radio, shaking his head. No signal, still useless. Mia holds up a handful of protein bars. Better than nothing. Tom looks at the mountains ahead, already thinking of the next move. Tom tightens his makeshift backpack, ready to explore. Jason follows closely, gripping a metal rod as a walking stick. The path is uneven, covered in jagged rocks and patches of snow. Mia looks up at the rising sun. "We need to be back before dark." The wind howls between the cliffs, making their voices sound distant. Tom spots a frozen stream, crouching to check the water. Jason kicks a loose rock, watching it tumble into the depths below. Mia shields her eyes, scanning the valley. Still no signs of life. Tom exhales, determination settling in. Then, we make our own way out. The fire flickers weakly, struggling against the cold wind. A survivor stirs the embers with a broken metal rod, trying to revive the flames. Mia's assistant, Luke, paces near the wreckage, worry etched on his face. They should be back by now, one of the crew mutters. The wreckage groans as the temperature drops, metal contracting. Luke sighs, rubbing his arms. If they don't find anything, what do we do? A distant noise in the mountains makes everyone freeze. The fire casts long shadows as the sun starts to dip. But wait, someone finally says. We don't have a choice. Tom runs his hands along the rock wall, feeling its stability. Jason peers inside the cave-like structure. It's not bad. Better than the open air. Mia places a hand on her hip. But can we get everyone here safely? A small waterfall trickles down a nearby ledge, a potential water source. Tom steps back, calculating the risk. It's farther from the wreckage, but safer. Jason nods. We move now, before it gets colder. Mia glances toward the wreckage. Let's get back and tell them. The sound of distant thunder rumbles through the mountains. Tom clenches his jaw. We don't have much time. Tom picks up the pace, sensing the incoming storm. Jason wipes sweat from his brow. This is about to get bad. Mia tugs her jacket tighter, the wind growing colder by the second. A crack of thunder echoes through the valley, making them flinch. Tom spots the wreckage in the distance, a tiny beacon in the growing darkness. Luke sees them first, waving frantically. Hurry! Tom reaches the fire just as the first snowflakes start falling. He exhales sharply. Pack up what we can. We're moving now. The storm looms closer, threatening to turn survival into a race against time. Tom leads the way, his footsteps quickly erased by the falling snow. Jason struggles to keep pace, his breath visible in the freezing air. Mia clutches a bundle of supplies, her hands numb from the cold. Luke stumbles, but Tom catches him, pulling him back to his feet. The wind howls through the mountains, drowning out their voices. A sudden gust knocks Mia off balance, nearly toppling her into the ravine. Keep moving. Tom shouts over the storm, his voice barely audible. The shelter is just ahead, but the blizzard is closing in fast. Their survival now depends on reaching it in time. Tom stokes a small fire, the only source of warmth in the frozen cave. Jason wraps himself in a torn airline blanket, teeth chattering. Mia rubs her hands together, trying to regain feeling in her fingers. Luke stares at the fire, his exhaustion evident. The wind outside howls like a wild animal, shaking loose rocks from the cliffside. This storm could last all night, Jason mutters, rubbing his temples. Tom nods. We wait it out, then we figure out the next step. Mia sighs. I just hope someone's looking for us. Tom's expression hardens. They will, and if they're not, we'll find our own way out. Tom steps out of the cave, squinting at the rising sun. Jason gasps, pointing to the sky. Look, a helicopter. Mia scrambles for the emergency flare, hands shaking with urgency. Luke waves a bright piece of metal, trying to catch the sun's reflection. Tom steadies the flare gun, taking careful aim. The flare streaks into the sky, leaving a red trail against the pale morning light. For a moment, the helicopter continues flying. Then, it turns toward them. Jason exhales shakily. They saw us. Tom nods, relief washing over him. It's over. We're going home. The rotor blades whip up a cloud of snow as the helicopter lands. Rescue workers jump out, waving the survivors toward them. Tom helps Mia onto the chopper, making sure she's secure. Jason collapses into a seat, too exhausted to speak. Luke shakes hands with the rescuer, his face lined with gratitude. A medic checks Tom for injuries, but he waves them off. Take care of them first. The radio crackles. All survivors accounted for. Preparing for extraction. Tom glances back at the valley one last time, taking in the scene of their survival. As the helicopter lifts off, the wreckage disappears below, swallowed by the endless mountains. Tom gazes out the window, watching the mountains fade into the distance. Mia leans against the seat, finally allowing herself to relax. Jason shakes his head. I still can't believe we made it. Luke chuckles weakly. If this were a movie, no one would believe it. The rescue pilot glances back. You guys are lucky. Not many walk away from a crash like that. Tom smirks slightly. It wasn't just luck. Mia nudges him. Zoe, what's next? Back to filming. Tom exhales, a tired but satisfied grin on his face. After some rest, maybe. As the helicopter speeds towards civilization, the nightmare ends, but the story will be told for years to come.